I'll create one folder, guys. I'm creating a folder called my project-dev. Inside this folder, let me create two more folders. Server-side development. Second one, client-side development. While creating a folder, don't give any spaces. Don't go for any uppercase characters. In the server-side DAB, we will be developing Spring Boot-based applications. In the Eclipse, we will be developing Spring Boot-based applications. If application is Spring Boot-based, inside that application, you can use Spring Data JPA, you can use REST Web Services, you can use Spring Security. All can be done if server-side application is Spring Boot-based application. In the Java full stack, server-side development will be in the Spring Boot. Server-side development means Spring Boot only. In the Java full stack, whatever server-side development, it is happening in the Spring Boot. In the Spring Boot application, we can use Data JPA, you can use security, you can use REST API. How to develop Spring Boot based application? Everybody open a browser, start.spring.io. Start.spring.io. It is a Spring initializer which is a part of Spring Boot. Spring initializer. Through Spring initializer, we can develop a Spring Boot application very easily. It will be providing one ready-made project to us. So initially project, it is a Maven based and Java programming language. No need of changing anything under project and also under language. Then Spring Boot version 2.3.1, let it go this only. Please observe, we are providing some basic information to our project. Maven based project, Java programming language, Spring Boot version is 2.3.1. Then project metadata. Under a group, you can mention any group name, com.company name, org.organization name, generally group ID or group name. It will be com.company name or org.organization name. Same group can be for multiple applications of same company. Under one company, whatever projects are developing, for all the projects, you can use same group. It can be com.company name or it can be org.company name. I will be keep using group ID, group name, com.lara for all the projects. Then artifact ID. Artifact ID is a project name. I'm choosing app1. Artifact ID is a project name. Name of the project. I'm choosing name of the project as app1. So left side we have done. So packaging is a jar type. You will come to know the difference between jar type packaging and var type packaging. And Java version, widely using 8 only. Let us see once again. Project is Maven based Java project. If it is a Java server-side project, it should be a Spring Boot type. What is the version of Spring Boot? 2.3.1. Then meta information of a project. Under which group? What is the project? Under which group and what is the name of the project? You can provide any description. You can also change the package name if you really want it. Then packaging is a jar type. You can also go for var type, that you'll come to know later. By default, packaging is a jar and Java version is a 8. Then come to the right side. Whatever project we are designing here, that project, what are the dependencies? If any dependencies are there, you need to select over here. Click on add dependencies. We required one dependency. Every project required one dependency. Just to type web, there is a Spring Web. I can say like a Spring Web is a mandatory for almost all server-side applications. Spring Web, it is containing a RESTful. It is also containing Apache Tomcat. It is also containing some of the essential Spring related. Please remember from now onwards, whenever you are creating server-side Spring Boot application, consider Spring Web is a mandatory. Type web, you will be getting a Spring Web. Select on this Spring Web. Click on this. You can see Spring Web. Now, click on generate. It will be generating one RAR file, that is zip file. Click on generate. You have already a folder. Please remember, I created a folder in the D drive. Let me go to the D drive. My project to DAV. Server side DAV. Go inside. Click on save. Go to the location. Let's choose the location whichever already you created a folder. Click on save. Now go to the location where app1.zip is there. Show in folder. This is the folder. My project to DAV, server side DAV. Right click on app1. Go to extract to app1. If you don't have a WinRAR, try installing WinRAR. If you have a WinRAR, then only you will be getting this option. Please observe. Right click on zip file, extract to app1. This extract to app1 you will be getting if at all WinRAR software is there in your system. If WinRAR is not there, try installing. It won't take more than 2-3 minutes. Now itself try installing. You can search for WinRAR, download and install. It's very simple software. I'm clicking on extract to app1. Now this app1 folder, it is like a because of zip file. Go inside this folder. This is the project folder you can consider. Inside this folder, the project ready-made content. Come on. I repeat once again. Please observe. This is the RAR file. While unzipping this RAR file, you will be getting a folder with the same name as the RAR file, zip file. This is the folder for the zip file purpose. Go inside this folder. This is a project folder. Inside a project folder, the ready-made project content. This content is provided by Spring Initializer automatically for us. Whatever basic configuration required for Spring Boot applications, that basic configuration provided by Spring Initializer. Spring Initializer provided one zip file to us. We unzipped, we extracted, we went inside a extracted bundle. There are several folders and files. All these folders and files are very much required for every project, like a base configuration. You can consider like this content is production ready content. One application you are getting from Spring Initializer, that application containing complete configuration, whatever base files, base folders, base configuration required, all are available. You can start implementing your customer requirements straight away. You no need of configuring anything. You no need of creating anything, copying anything, modifying anything. You are getting one ready-made project. That project containing the base information, whatever is required, the base configuration, whatever is required, the base folders, files, whatever is required, all provided. You don't require to go ahead of configurations. You can straight away start developing customer requirements. You have a ready-made project. In that ready-made project, you start implementing customer requirements. In order to enhance this project, to add our customer requirements, if this project is importing into Eclipse, then we can easily enhance the same project. We got a model project or base project, the project with minimum configuration, the project with complete configuration without any customer development, no customer development, but minimum whatever is required, that is available. So inside this project, if you want to develop your customer requirement, or if you want to learn any concept, this application should be imported into IDE. I will be using IDE as an Eclipse. In throughout the course, we will be using Eclipse. Let me start the Eclipse. We all are Java programmers. Definitely JDK and Eclipse both will be available in our systems. By any chance, if JDK is not there, try installing JDK 1.8. If at all, by any chance, if Eclipse is not there, try downloading latest version of the Eclipse. It should be Enterprise Edition of the Eclipse. Let me choose Workspace. Click on Browse. Whatever folder we already created in the D drive, come on. In the D drive, we created one folder with the name as My Project DEV. Go to the D drive, My Project DEV, server side. Let me choose only server side as a workspace. Please remember, this is the workspace selection. In the workspace selection, try to select a folder where you are developing all Spring Boot applications. Don't select the app one. This app one can be imported. Now workspace I am choosing as a server side DEV. Server side DEV inside my project DEV. Select a folder. You can see once again my project DEV server side DEV. Click on launch. Eclipse started. Try importing Maven based project into Eclipse. File, import. It is a Maven based. Go inside a Maven, select existing Maven projects. Existing Maven projects. Go next. Under root directory, click on browse. Under root directory, click on browse. Go inside app1 folder. Everybody, this is our workspace. In this workspace, there is one project. Go inside. Go inside app1. Actually, first app1 is a rar file folder. Second app1 only project folder. Go inside. Every Spring Boot application will contain .mvn and src. Till you see .mvn and src, you have to keep going inside. So most of the beginners are choosing first app1. First app1, it is a folder which is created because of the zip file. Go inside this folder. Go inside this folder. Yes. So two times you have to see the project folder name here. First one is only zip file purpose. Second one is an actual project folder. So if you are choosing actual project folder, then you will be seeing .mvn and src. So go inside a app1 folder, .mvn and src. Don't choose anything. So click select folder. After reaching to the second app1 folder, click select folder. If your application selection is proper, automatically you will be getting pom.xml with a tick mark. If you are getting this one, then selection is proper. The blind rule here is 2 times your project folder should be. You can see here, app1, again app1. If 2 times are there, then absolutely it is correct. So you will be getting POM with a checked. Don't uncheck this one. It should be in the checked. Click on finish. You can observe in the right bottom, there is one progress bar. Whatever dependencies are there in our project, for that dependencies, required jar files are downloading by Maven. You have to wait till the right bottom progress bar getting over. So don't disturb that progress bar. Whenever there is a progress bar in the right bottom, don't do anything in the Eclipse. Let it download all the jar files for every dependency. But in our application, there is only one dependency, that is Spring Web. For that dependency, whatever jar files required, those got downloaded. Now, expand this app1. You can see src main Java, src main resources, pom.xml. We need to focus on these three. pom.xml, it will be specifying list of dependencies for the current application. Let me open pom.xml, double click. It contains all list of dependencies and even Spring Boot version. Which version of Spring Boot? So click on the rightmost pom.xml. You can see the tab pom.xml. Please observe the mouse movement. Now let us open in the full window. Please observe Spring Boot version 2.3.1 release. This is the latest production version 2.3.1 release. Then Whatever metadata we have chosen while creating a project. What is the group ID? What is the artifact ID? What is the version? By default, it is taking snapshot. What is the name of the project? We have chosen Java version 1.8. Then all dependencies, every dependency, but we choose only one dependency, that is Spring Web. In addition to that, one more dependency for the testing purpose. This dependency is a default for every Spring Boot applications. Spring Initializer providing one additional dependency which is mainly for the testing. We selected only one dependency. We got one more dependency. This is a default for the testing. Then the last one, build. You cannot understand build now itself. You will come to know later. At the end of the batch, I will show you importance of the build. Don't worry now itself. So in the POM.xml, totally three things you have to consider. One is, what is the Spring Boot version? The second one, what is the Java version? The third one, what are the dependencies you have chosen? We choose only one dependency. If you wanted one more dependency, you can add the dependency information here, or you can select that new dependency while creating a project in the Spring Initializer. You'll come to know variety ways in down the line. Now, come to the second very important one. SRC main resources. Under SRC main resources, you can find application.properties. Application.properties, it is a file which contains key value pairs. For our application, whatever key value pairs required, those we will be keeping over here. Generally, in every application, port number is very important. I want to set a separate port number. Server.port is equal to 8081. I don't want to use 8080. If you are not setting a port number, by default, it will be considering 8080. 8080 is a default for most of the HTTP based applications. Don't choose the same again. 8080, you can change it. If you are not keeping this line, default port number will be 8080. But 8080 might have already occupied by other services. Why? Because it is a default port number for all HTTP based servers. Always advisable to change. Here server.port, it is a mandatory. Don't change any character. Don't change even case also. Server.port, all in the lower cases. All in the lower cases. Just to keep one. For our application, whatever configuration, like a programming specific configuration, application specific configuration already done. That is done by Spring Initializer. It provided one zip file. We are extending that only. We are using that only. Application specific any configuration we will be doing in the application.properties. It is available in the resources folder. This is the default file. You can keep using this file. You don't require to configure this file in the application. This file already got configured in the application. Straight away you can make use of this file. Inside this file, whatever application properties are there, you can configure something like a driver class, URL, username, password, or any application specific like a discount percentages. Any kind of application level configurable parameters. Those can be done inside this. The next one, please observe. SRC main Java automatically you got one package. Inside that package, there is an application class. It is a built-in. By default, we are getting it. So we didn't develop anything. We are just observing whatever is available. App1 application.java. Go inside, double click on it. So please observe a simple class with a main method. In core Java itself, we understood the main method if it is there inside a class. Main method if it is there inside a class, then that class we can able to run. We can run that class inside a main method. Let me keep one SOP. I'm just keeping some content. App started. It's very simple. I kept only line number 11. In the properties file, I kept 8081. This is the app one. Only two lines I developed. There was a ready-made application.properties. I kept server.port. There was a ready-made class with a main method. I kept SOP. Now let us run. Control F11. As it is a core Java program, we can run through Control F11. You can see automatically console is opened. After giving several console inputs, finally app started. Remember, we ran this class through Control F11. Inside this class, main method executed. In the main method body, only two statements are there. First one is the default. Second one we have incorporated. Through this first one, please observe, current application is running. To run the current application, you need to call run method of Spring application class by supplying current application class. This is the current application class. Supply current application class to the run method of Spring application. Spring application is one of the built-in. You can see here. This is available in the Spring Boot. In the Spring application, there is a run method. Just call run method by supplying your application class. Whatever class you are supplying here, this class should be qualified as a Spring Boot application. There is an annotation using to qualify a class as a Spring Boot application class. Whatever class name you are supplying to the run method, the class should be qualified as a Spring Boot application class. Yes, this class is qualified as a Spring Boot application class. This class we can supply to run method of Spring application. Spring application is a built-in class. Run method. Supply your application class. Whatever class you are supplying, that should be qualified as a Spring Boot application. For this run method, second argument is nothing but command line arguments. Main method taking command line arguments. We know very well about command line arguments. We know very well about command line arguments. Args. Supplying the args. After executing first line, then second line. You can see in the console, while executing first line, we got lot of output. This complete output is resulting because of first line. What first line is doing? Please observe. It is starting our application. Internally, lot of things are happening. You don't require to bother now itself. While running first line of main method, Spring Boot application is starting. Then it is going to the second line. This is our application. You will be knowing more about these internal things later. Now, let me develop one simple hello world API and giving a call from the browser. A simple hello world. It won't take more than 2 minutes. Remember everybody? Public string, say hello. You can keep even SOP also. Return hello from Spring Boot. A simple API I'm developing. Request mapping. Path is equal to /hello. First time you may be committing a mistake. Please observe all the statements. I am from say hello. Hello from Spring Boot. Remember, request mapping. You have to import. Request mapping, try to import. Through control spacebar you can do. You may be aware of this step. Path is equal to /any identifier. I am choosing identifier as a hello. You can choose any name. Through this name only, this method can be executed. You can consider this method as a API method. For that API, we are providing a hello as a handler to the callers. Whoever giving a call, they should supply hello. It is a path to give a call to this method. You can consider this as a REST API definition. For the REST API definition, we are giving URL as hello. Finally, if you are providing REST APIs, if you want to access this REST APIs from outside, then the current class should be qualified as a REST controller. On top of the class, specify REST controller. On top of the class, REST controller, I'm just pressing control spacebar. REST controller. In the REST controller only, REST APIs can be developed. This is one of the REST API which can be called from outside. So this method should be inside a REST controller. This is the method which we have to develop in the REST controller. Our application class itself making as a REST controller also. Our application class, whichever class we got as a default, that class itself making as a REST controller and defining REST API. That's all. Now you can stop the application, whatever already running. So go to the console, please observe how to stop the application. There is a red mark. Click on this red mark. So if you are not finding a console icon here, go to the window, show view, console, then console will be displaying. Red mark is there means it is running. Just to click on the top of the red mark to terminate. Now application is started. Try running, control F11. Application started. Now, what is the port number chosen for this application? 8081. With 8081, we can give a call to hello. How we can give a call to hello? Let's open a browser. Inside a browser, in the browser address bar, you can specify http localhost colon 8081 slash hello. This much you have to keep in the browser address bar. Copy the selected content. http colon 2 / localhost colon 8081. Why 8081? 8081 is a port number for the current application. Inside 8081, select hello. Open any browser, give a call to this particular URL. Open a browser, give a call to this particular URL. You can see localhost colon 8081 is a port number. Hello is a URL for your API. Hello from Spring Boot. You can also check in the console. Open the console. A SOAP message is printing in the console. This is about very basic getting started. Getting started Spring Boot application. We developed one simple REST API and we have seen the output too. And down the line you will come to know most of the things. Enough for today. So practice very well. We will see in the next class.